This video was made possible by GamersGate.com. Download games anytime, anywhere. Skip it up and that up! Okay, before I start this 100K video, which I'm still wrapping my brain around to begin with, two things. This is Minecraft footage that my little brother played that he loves. He's obsessed with Minecraft, and he was really excited about me hitting 100K. He was actually paying attention to it more than I was to me. He's like, "Hey, Brub, you're a few hundred subscribers. You're a few thousand subscribers away, a few hundred. You're only like 100. Brub, you hit 100,000. He calls me Brub. And he said he was really, really amped about playing Minecraft and having me show his footage when I hit 100K. So this is why you're watching Minecraft. I suck at this game. I tried it a few times. I can't wrap my mind around it. I'm sure it's a fantastic game. I should give it more of a chance, and I probably will. But this is him playing, so got to give him some credit. He played a ton of. He did like over 2 hours of gameplay footage for me, which is greatly appreciated. So huge shout out to my little brother. He's 11. And secondly, if you've noticed that my channel has brand spanking new artwork, which everyone was complaining that I didn't have artwork, which I understand. You know, I do this for a friggin' living. You would think I would have artwork, but the only reason I didn't have any, because I knew my buddy LUGOentertainment. I'll have a link to his YouTube channel below in the description. His real name is Zach. He was working on a logo and an intro and all that for me, which I'm going to have my intro, the new intro, starting tomorrow. The old intro is still going to be in this video, but huge shout out to him, man. He is a great guy. He did fantastic, very professional work for me for this channel, and it was way above and beyond the Call of Duty, so thank you, dude. You have no idea how much it's appreciated. So 100K, 100,000 people thought that my large fat ass mouth is worth listening to. Not that not that all 100,000 subs watch all of my videos, but people, over 100,000 people thought it was worthwhile to click that subscribe button when they watch some stuff on my channel, and I can't even begin to grasp that number. 100,000, like it's just a number when I look at my YouTube channel. But those are people behind that number, and I know it sounds dumb me saying that, but it's like when you think about it, when you actually envision living human beings, and you think of 100,000 of them, and those people think deem it worthwhile to take some time out of their day to watch your stuff. That is really, really friggin' humbling. And I know that it's a cliche thing that everyone says, and I think I said cliche twice in this video, well, 3 times now, but it's true. That's the only thing I could think of, is that, like, you know, you just take a step back and it's like, what the hell am I doing? You know, I'm a loudmouth on the internet. I mean, I love what I do, and I guess that's what, you know, is conveyed in my videos. But it's like, holy shit, you know, I feel like I remember it was only like 2 years ago, not even, that I hit 1,000 subs. And that number was like it felt like it was never going to happen. I remember, you know, when I finally hit that number, and it was just like, to see it was, my head exploded. I was like, wow, 1,000 people want to watch my stuff. You know, and it took forever to get there. And to now be here, I can't thank all of you enough. I really can't. I know that's another thing that everyone always says with these milestone videos. That's why I didn't do a video at like 50,000, 60,000, because to me it feels like you're being pretentious. But this is a huge milestone, and I gotta thank you guys. I know everyone says that, but it's the truth. If it wasn't for you guys watching my stuff or my content, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be doing this for a living. I wouldn't be doing something that I did for 3.5 years for free and now make a living off of something I love doing. But I know a lot of you too, because I get a lot of PMs even before I was even close to getting to 100K. A lot of you want to hear how the hell I started, and it's a really weird story that goes back a long time ago. Not that long ago, but long enough. Basically, it started in 2007. If you want to know the first time I ever watched YouTube was in 2007. I was late to the party, and I watched it on my Wii. I had a Wii, and I was like, I heard about this YouTube thing. Let me check it out. And the first video I ever watched was of the Irate Gamer. I think it was, he did a review of Jaws. I'm not sure. And yes, it was the Irate Gamer. I'm not making a mistake. It wasn't AVGN. And I was like, oh, wow, this YouTube thing is kind of cool. I remember seeing, like, because I used to watch G4 back then, and I remember seeing they would have, like, the viral video of the day and, oh, this YouTube thing. I'm like, what is this, a bunch of videos of, like, cats and weird videos? Like, I didn't really find YouTube appealing back then. But then I started watching it more when I moved in with my ex-girlfriend. I was with her for, like, 2 years. I had my computer in her room, and when she was sleeping, because we worked different hours, I would sit up and watch videos. And, you know, I started watching, like, Steve Benway, AVGN, Vulcan Jedi, Irate Gamer, like I said before, Classic Game Room. I think he started in 2008, but, you know, he was one of the first few people that I watched. And I remember thinking, damn, I could do this stuff. This must be a blast to do. I could do this shit. So I remember I worked as a second job. I worked at Circuit City fixing computers. And I couldn't get all the videos I watched out of my head. You know, I was thinking of AVGN's videos, Steve Benway's videos, and Nintega was another person I watched back in the day. And I remember thinking, I'm like, man, you know, I asked a buddy of mine that worked there, and I was like, do we have a capture card here or anything? Is there a way that I could capture gameplay? Because I didn't even know, like, what the hell, even where to begin back then. Like, do we have something like this? Like, yeah, we have this thing called a Dazzle capture card. Because back in 2007, God, back in 2007, it feels so weird saying that. But back in 2007, it's the truth. HD, you know, I mean, TVs were around, but like HD camcorders and all that stuff was still just starting to become somewhat mainstream, you know, and capture cards, forget about it. There was, as far as I know anyway, there was nothing, you know, HD with capture cards, at least on a consumer level. So I picked up a Dazzle. It was one of the red ones, like that weird kidney bean shaped thing. And the first video I ever put up was me playing the demo of, what was it? Virtua Fighter 5. Virtua Fighter 5. And that was it for a while because, you know, I was in a weird living situation. My ex worked different hours than me, and I was working also at IBM. I was working the night shift at the time. And it just didn't work out. The living situation I had didn't work out. So I minus that one retarded video, which I didn't even format right or render right, so it looked terrible. I just became a content consumer again. But then I broke up with her like July of 2008, and I broke it off with her and kind of got my shit sorted out. And it was like September-ish of 2008. I kind of knew the writing was on the wall that we were all going to get laid off from IBM, you know. And I remember thinking to myself, you know, now that I have more free time on my hands, because let's face it, women take up a lot of damn time. Anyone out there who had a significant other for a long period of time knows that. Now that I was single, I'm like, I should start it up again. And I started doing some shit reviews. I did like a Super Street Fighter 2 review or Street Fighter 2 Turbo, whatever the hell it was. It was the game on Xbox Live Arcade back in 2008 that you could download. It was the arcade version of Street Fighter, whatever the hell one that was. That one sucked. I did a review of like Super Dodgeball for Nintendo. And I did some other piddly shit reviews here and there. I would say my first real review that, you know, wasn't cringeworthy was the Left 4 Dead review that I did. And whatever, you know, getting subs on YouTube, man, is tough. And for any guys out there that are new, I feel your pain. I told you, because back then, you know, like getting one sub every 5 days was like exciting. So I kind of did videos on and off. And then I got laid off from IBM, which was, now I look back, a blessing in disguise. But back then it was like a kick in the groin. But I'm like, you know, I mean, I applied to everything under the sun. I couldn't get a job even working at McDonald's. So what I did with my free time was I worked on videos. And I started to get a little bit of small sub base. I'm talking like 50, 60 people, not even. But there was one video, like probably a month after I got laid off, that I put up. Was So I forgot the name of it. Halo 3 is overrated, or the Halo series is overrated. And that was what really got me, I hate saying put on, but what made people start paying attention to my stuff. And that was all thanks to, that had nothing to do with me. That was all thanks to a guy named T2 Darlanton. He was the one who saw the video, and he had a huge following at the time. I feel bad for that guy. He's had bad luck on YouTube, and I really don't think any of his bad luck was justified. He had a bad, he's pretty, I still watch him on and off to this day, man. He's a pretty entertaining guy. But he saw that video, and he totally agreed with my take on the Halo series. And even though I love Halo now, so it's kind of strange how my opinion changed on that series, but he agreed with it, and he featured that video on his channel. I don't even know if you could do that with YouTube anymore. I don't think you can. You can't take another person's video and feature it on your channel. And that video, I mean, I was getting like maybe 20, 15 views per video. That video got like 10,000 views, and my head exploded when I saw that, because I didn't even know he did it at first. I just, I put up that video, it had like 30 hits, and then I wake up the next morning, it's at like 5,000, and then it went up to 10,000. And then I started getting a few hundred subs from there. Now, a lot of people even to this day ask me, you always bitched about, how people always change their channels and stuff. Why did you change from RLM Audio over to Review Tech USA? Well, RLM Audio only existed because that account was actually, my dad builds like amplifiers, stereo amplifiers for, you have a component audio system in your home. And he had stuff that he wanted to get rid of, and I wanted to put up videos showing the features of those amps, and that's why it was called RLM Audio, because that's Richard Louis Masucci is my dad's name. So that's why that channel, I'm like, the channel doesn't make sense. On top of it too, I had a couple issues with copyright strikes, and I'm like, you know what, I want to get a partnership. This channel name makes no sense whatsoever, so I'm going to go over to Review Tech USA. It just makes more sense, and I did that I think in like August of 2009, and that's why I went over to Review Tech USA. The other thing a lot of people ask me is, why do I do more news than reviews now? And there's a logical reason for that too. Doing reviews, I enjoy doing them. I just did a damn almost near 20-minute PS Vita review. Is the politics behind doing reviews and getting review products, which now is somewhat easier because I have a really good friend, Tony Steeman, who works very hard to get me things to review, and he does a great job, but I didn't have him back then. And it was a pain in the ass trying to get in contact with reps, getting products, it was all a game. It was all a politics game. If I wanted a game to review, their chance, especially when my channel was small, only a few hundred subs, most people would laugh in my face, even though because I put a lot of hard work and made sure the quality of my reviews was the best I could do. So that got me in a couple doors. But, it's like, this large fat Italian from upstate New York or IGN, who are we going to send this review copy of this game to? And it was an uphill battle constantly. And when I would get copies of stuff, it would be so far out after the game was released or the product was released that it was irrelevant. So everyone would be like, dude, I already saw a review on this like a month and a half ago. So as much as I loved doing reviews, and I still do them, obviously, I was putting in all this work, and it was just so much BS that I just got sick of it. And I would constantly read these news stories, and I would either totally agree with it or disagree with it. And I'm like, man, I should talk about this shit. I'm sure I'm not the only person that feels this way, or if I am, I still wanted to express my opinion on it. So I started doing a couple news stories in I think early 2011, and I got a lot of positive feedback for it. And honestly, even though it obviously isn't all about views, because trust me, if it was just about me getting views, I would have quit doing this ages ago. But yeah, more people watched it. And so with the fact that I was having more fun doing the news stories, not dealing with all the politics, And on top of it, more people were watching it. It was like a triple win. It was a win-win all around. And as much as people always say, I do the videos for me, or people should just do it for themselves, obviously you have to love what you're doing. I wouldn't have lasted this long if I was just doing this to try to make cash. But not that I even have that much respect for 50 Cent, but this has to be said, because he had one of the most brilliant quotes, I think, ever that I heard out of the pop music industry. He says, I always laugh when people say, oh, I just make music for me. So he says, all right, if you make music for you, just, make your song, put it on your iPod, and just listen to your headphones and don't have anyone else hear it. And the same thing applies for YouTube. People say, I just make videos for me. If you make videos for you, keep them private and just watch them. But anyway, a lot of people, I would see almost on a daily basis, PM me and ask me, hey, Rich, I want to start a YouTube channel. Do you have any advice? I want to start a YouTube channel. Do you have any advice? And I have very simple advice. I mean, there's people out there who have way more subscribers and who are way more successful than I am, but I've been around here long enough and I think I've accomplished enough on this website that I could give 2 big pointers. The first one is, do not do this for the money. Ever. Because if you're just doing this to think you're going to make a quick buck or make a buck at all, and that's the only thing that's motivating you to do it, you're gonna end up giving up and not wanting to do it anymore. You're just gonna end up quitting. I have a story that's a perfect example of that. There was a guy, my buddy Dan, he's one of my really good friends. He lives in Florida now. He worked with a young kid, and he's like, you're not young kid, he was like 19, 20. He said, I know this young guy, he wants to start getting into commentaries. I think he's pretty good. Would you mind, featuring him on your channel? And I listened to his stuff, and the guy was awesome. I mean, I'm not a big commentary watcher like Call of Duty or Halo, whatever, the guys who just sit there and, hey, I have tips and tricks, but there was just something about him. He was, the way his delivery was good. He was entertaining to watch. There was no, dead air when he was talking, but he quit after a month. I talked to my friend Dan. I'm like, Dan, what happened? He didn't put up a video for like 2 weeks. I'm like, dude, what happened? He was putting up a video like every other day. Where did he go? And he's like, oh yeah, he saw he wasn't making any money, so he quit. I'm like, what? I'm like, he's been doing it for a month. What did he expect Google to come to his house with a $20,000 check and a Ferrari? But yeah, there's a lot of people out there who think that this is easy money. I know people, even as I'm saying this, are going to say, Rich, you're full of shit. It is easy money. It's not. I put more money into this for the first 3 years than I made out of it. I just started making a living off of this in like May or June. It's not easy money. You have to just love it. Yes, the money will come eventually, but it's not going to be overnight unless you're extremely damn lucky. And it's going to take a long time to get there. You have to love what you're doing, then the money will come. You have to do it for the love of it and, have the money be a bonus. You can't do it with saying, hey, I just want the money. Because it's not going to happen. I'm telling you right now, this is not, everyone seems to think that YouTube, or people who don't understand seem to think that YouTube is this cash cow. It's not. It's really not at all. And to get somewhere where you can make a living off of it takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication. So you better damn well love what you're doing, or else what's the point of doing it? Don't do it just because you're looking at the dollar signs, because I promise you'll end up quitting in, at best, the first 3 months. The second piece of advice I got to give, and it's more so a warning than anything else. No matter how amicable you are, no matter how good looking you are, doesn't matter, male, female, fat, short, skinny, tall, hot chick with big boobs, 25-year-old male that's a walking Greek Adonis, doesn't matter, you're the smartest person on the planet, doesn't matter how well spoken you are, anything, you are going to deal with trolling, and it is going to get to you. I don't care how thick skin you are, I don't care, it gets to major websites like IGN. Okay? It's going to get to you eventually, and you are going to get trolled, and it's going to cause you a headache. I've dealt with trolling since I had 300 subs, if not before that, all right? People are miserable son of a bitches, and they want to either feel a sense of power, or they're just embittered about something happening in their life, and they just want to cause anarchy for the sake of causing anarchy. And no matter what you look like, how smart you are, I already said all the things. No matter what, you're going to deal with trolling. Trolling pisses me off a lot because I've seen a lot of people throughout the years who were very talented on this website fade away and quit because they couldn't deal with the trolling. And what bothers me is that that's exactly what trolls want. These are people that are empty shells of people who want to feel that sense of power that they could destroy something of someone else or destroy someone else. And unfortunately, they do succeed. I mean, I think throughout the years, there was this one girl who put up great videos, and this son of a bitch got her personal information and was threatening to give it out. You know, there was just so much other shit. There was this one guy who found naked photos of this other girl and was putting him up, who's going to threaten to put him up on YouTube, and he sent her an email of him, so he actually had him. People are screwed up, man. You know, but the reason why, as much as when people, you know, throw slander and lies my way and try to discredit me with bullshit, the reason why I have a story, the why trolls don't get to me, because I know exactly what their motivation is, and they're pathetic people. A buddy of mine, who was actually used to be my former manager and a friend, I used to drive with him up to Connecticut. I'm not even going to say his first name because I know people who still know him who may be watching this video. I was friends with this guy. I used to work. He was my boss. I used to work with him up in Connecticut. I carpooled with him 5 days a week. You know, we hung out, like we would hang out with other coworkers, go out to get drinks after work. We were cool. And I was friends with him on Facebook. And that's when I first started doing Review Tech USA stuff, okay? And I put up this video. I remember at BJ's, they had, I mean, at the time it was a good deal. They had this sale of some SD card, which at the time it was a high capacity SD card for a really cheap price. So I put a video up on YouTube saying, you know, this is, I think it was Black Friday 09. And I said, hey, they have, you know, this really sweet deal on SD cards, you know, really great capacity for, I don't know, $19.99, whatever. You should go to Best Buy and get it. I made a YouTube video, put it on Facebook. And I remember he wrote under that video a whole bunch of nasty shit. And he said, you know, you should have killed yourself years ago. You're a fucking waste of life. And it wasn't even that I was insulted by it. It was just like the fact that I was like, where did that come from? And he's like, yeah, whatever. And he wouldn't give a response. And I unfriended him. And I found out later, because we had mutual friends, I talked to those mutual friends, and they're like, yeah, he's been a real bastard to people lately. He's getting a divorce from his wife. He's about to lose his house. It's going into foreclosure. And he's just very unhappy right now. He's having problems with his kid. His kid hates him. And I'm like, so he tells me to go kill myself and calls me every name under the sun? That's why trolls are trolls. That's why these people exist. And this wasn't even really on YouTube. This was like some real life shit. You know, I mean, he wrote it on Facebook, but that's why trolls, that's why I don't, I mean, they piss me off to a point, but I would never let them stop me from doing this, because that's why people troll. They're empty. There's something wrong with their life. They're miserable. They're unhappy. And if they will do anything they can to make you feel the same way. They're just angry, embittered people that want to destroy things around them to make someone else's, even if it's a futile attempt, they want to try to make someone else's life suck almost as much as theirs. The funny response to, I've asked people who've trolled me before, and I've asked them, why are you even doing this? Like, what do you get out of it? And I love the cliche answer that they try to give, is that, oh, this is just for fun. I just do this for fun, and that's the only reason I do it. So I'm like, okay, with your free time, you go on the internet and take out energy, use your energy for no kind of compensation. They're not getting paid. They're not doing anything, just to get a rise out of pissing other people off. So with your free time, instead of doing something constructive, instead of, hanging out with your wife or girlfriend or family, or you just going out and doing something else, you think it's a better idea to go on the internet to try to aggravate or piss off or insult someone else. That's the lamest excuse I've ever heard. That's the most pathetic thing I've ever heard. And they have no rebuttal for that. I say that to them, like, when I say that, that's what you do it for. You just go on the internet and use your spare time to try to, attack other people. And usually none of them ever have an answer for it. They'll just throw another insult my way, a generic one. And I either never hear from them or they make a video trying to insult me. So if you can, don't let trolls get to you. There's some people who can't do it. Like I've said, I've seen great YouTubers leave YouTube because of trolls. But I'm warning you, and that's my other piece of advice, is that you're going to deal with trolls. You're going to deal with negativity. You can't consider people giving constructive criticism negativity, okay? If someone doesn't agree with you, that's not trolling. But I'm talking about people attacking you, doing other things, insulting you with every name under the book, making nasty videos about you. It's going to happen. Okay, so you have to deal with it. And if you don't think you can, it's okay, but it's inevitable. It's going to happen no matter who you are, how smart you are, or what you look like. You are going to be trolled on this website. Unfortunately, human nature has a very shitty side to it, and you see a lot of it on YouTube. But beyond that, 99% of you guys have been 100% supportive of me, and I cannot thank you enough for staying there and sticking to watching my videos throughout the years. It's amazing, and I can't thank you enough. So to the people who've supported me throughout the years, thank you. I'm not going to do individual names because then I end up missing out on people, and that's not fair. So this is just a general thank you to all my subscribers who watch my videos and to all my supporters who gave me shout outs and let people know about my channel throughout the years. Thank all of you guys so much. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. Now I need to head out of here. I'm actually going down to Walmart to pick up a 2DS, and I'm going to do an unboxing video of that tomorrow. So thank you guys. This is just the beginning once again. Review Tech USA is going to grow even bigger and stronger. And thank you for always supporting my channel. Have a good one.